On the surface, the Las Vegas Raiders just made probably the safest, most boring coaching hire possible.
Right. The path of least resistance.
But if you look closer, and we're about to, this isn't just a staffing decision. This is the one thread keeping a superstar from demanding a trade right now.
It really feels less like a football move and more like, a hostage negotiation.
Exactly. We're going to break down why this is a huge gamble, and stick with us because by the end, we'll reveal a timeline that shows how this safe hire could actually blow up their entire roster.
It could happen fast.
But first, do us a quick favor, hit that follow button, subscribe, like the stream, whatever you gotta do.
And drop a comment. We want to know what you think.
Is this a genius move to save a locker room, or are the Raiders just settling? Okay, let's get to the news.
It is official. Head coach Klint Kubiak is not looking outside the building. He's promoting Rob Leonard to defensive coordinator.
Leonard has been the defensive line coach for the last few years, right?
Yep, 3 seasons. And they're also keeping Joe Woods on as the pass game coordinator.
So the big headline here is continuity. But I have to ask the obvious question.
I think I know what it is.
Why would you want continuity from this defense?
That is the million-dollar question. I mean, if you just look at the raw data, the promotion makes almost 0 sense.
The numbers are bad.
They're really bad. The Raiders were 25th in points allowed last season, giving up over 25 points a game. And they were 24th in sacks.
24th in sacks. With Maxx Crosby on the team, that sounds like an indictment of the coaching.
You'd think so. It doesn't exactly scream promotion, so, why give the D-line coach the keys to the whole car?
Okay, so there has to be another reason.
There is. You're not hiring him for the stats. You're hiring him to be a psychologist. This is all about the Maxx Crosby factor.
The tension there has been building for a while.
Oh, tense is putting it mildly. Trade rumors have been swirling for months. Crosby himself just said he didn't want to throw gasoline on the fire.
Which is code for the house is already burning.
Exactly. And Rob Leonard is the one guy in that building who has been in the trenches with Crosby, day in and day out, for 3 straight years.
So this is just a keep Max happy hire, is that it?
It's a strategic olive branch. Think about it. If you bring in some outsider, someone who wants to tear down the whole scheme, you risk pushing Crosby out the door immediately.
So by promoting Leonard, they're sending a message.
A very clear one. They're telling Crosby, we hear you. We value your comfort. We're keeping your guy.
That's great for the locker room vibes, I guess. But what about the on-field reality? Leonard is 38. He's a first-time DC inheriting a bottom-tier unit.
And this is where it gets really, really tough for him. Because if you look at the Raiders' assets, specifically in the upcoming draft, Leonard is basically being left to fend for himself.
Right, because they have the #1 overall pick.
Exactly. And you do not use the #1 pick on a defensive player when your franchise desperately needs a quarterback. Everyone expects them to take Fernando Mendoza.
So the offense gets the shiny new toy, the franchise QB, and Rob Leonard gets what? A pat on the back.
A pat on the back and a good luck. He's not getting a blue-chip rookie to build around on defense. He has to fix this thing with scheme, coaching, and whatever's left over in free agency.
That just feels like a setup for failure. A rookie DC, a defense that already struggled, and an offense that's going to have growing pains with a rookie QB.
That's the reality. Rookie quarterbacks almost always mean a transition year. The offense is probably going to struggle to score.
Which puts all the pressure on Leonard's defense to keep them in games.
Immense pressure. And if they can't, if the Raiders are giving up 30 points a game in September because the personnel is the same,
then we get to that shocking realization you mentioned at the start.
We do. The Raiders are trying to solve a long-term problem with a very short-term patch.
Explain that.
They hired Leonard to keep Crosby happy. The friendship doesn't win football games. If that defense gets shredded for the first 6 weeks of the season, having a familiar voice in the room won't matter anymore. Maxx Crosby wants to win.
And if they keep losing, the glue that's holding him there just dissolves.
Precisely. This hire might buy them 4, maybe 5 weeks of patience. But if the results aren't there, and the roster suggests they won't be, Leonard's presence won't be enough to stop that trade demand.
Wow. So they might have actually accelerated the breakup if this goes badly.
It's a real possibility. By tying the defense's fate to Crosby's favorite coach, a failure feels that much more personal.
A tough spot for everyone involved. It's a massive gamble on a coach who has everything to prove. We'll be watching very closely. Thanks for listening to this deep dive.
Make sure you're subscribed. We'll be back next time.